Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Nah, no stream today, brother. No stream, no stream. Accidental. If you look in the announcements tab, it'll have all the streams for the week. That goes for anyone. I notice a lot of you ask that, which that's fine. But if you're curious, right, if you look at the announcements, there will always be the stream for the day. Vin55, you were OG. Right, you got a new account, you said. Give it back. Buddy wants his Zoom. Let's get it. Let's get it. Passing another 300K in those Apex accounts. Still got about 500K left that I'm working on, but right, the ones I showed yesterday, just more static accounts. Those are nice because they're pretty easy, honestly. Okay. One-sided off rip. I did want to see. One second. What in the world? I also want to double check and be sure what news we had because that is kind of crazy. Jolts. Okay, that's fair. Job openings. That's unfortunate. So I had a limit set here. Now I was gonna try to use, so right, we came into this fair value gap. I wanted to get it on a second touch before this news. And I actually missed my entry, so I was hoping that we can come back into it. But instead, one directional, straight up. So we may have to reassess our bias now at this point. Let's see. The cushion after passing. Yeah, I gotta be cautious with it. Can only withdraw 1,000 though, max now. So what I did is get it to that 2K because you can't withdraw until you get to that 2K anyways. So I just trade it like a normal challenge account, get back to that 2K, and then decide from there. Yeah, exactly. Got to run it back. Which basically makes it like a two-step in a way. They just don't say that. Second step, you can get paid. So we push up immediately. Okay. This fair value gap obviously has my interest here. Okay. I had favored lower prices, to be honest. Let's go to a 5-minute. We create these equal lows here. We actually see as well, we had ran a high. So here we run this high, return into this fair value gap. Create lows, create equal lows. I would have favored to see those equal lows hit, obviously. Price does not want to do that, so now our attention goes back towards possible inefficiencies. I see this 5-minute here. We never actually traded into it. So if I drag this out, this high here yesterday falls short. We clear these highs but fall short. So now we got buy side resting right there. Maybe. Bam. What? Say psych. There it is. So the classic buy side paired with untouched inefficiency, right? We like those setups as a draw on liquidity. 15 minutes, same thing. 15 minutes a little bigger. Okay, so if I was to just kind of, so we have everything understood. Now if I was to show you the 15, because I bet we haven't hit consequent encroachment. Okay, cool, perfect. So notice right, that 15-minute consequent encroachment, not such either, we can get into that. That's kind of aligned with the 5-minute. So I like both of those areas. We may not even go back into this fair value gap here. So now I'm watching this on the 30-second. If we want to use microstructure, say we're extremely bullish. Right, we've closed above new day opening gap, held it once, twice, 3 times now. So I'm just looking at price. If you're going to do that and continue, we'll expect for that basically to be respected, which means that this fair value gap here doesn't get hit. Instead, we continue to push from the 30-second into these areas. Perfect hit. Okay, so equal highs now. See if we want to come back in here first. Remember, this is a 30-second chart too we're looking at here. Because obviously on the 1 minute there's nothing. The 30-second is what we're utilizing. 30-second actually institutional order flow intrade right here. So on the 30-second fair value gap, this candle wicks into it. Holds the actual new day opening gap after closing above. Notice only after closing above it here do we now hold the bodies. First time wick, second time close, third, fourth, fifth time respect it now. Expand again, new fair value gap, new discount. Which is why I'm saying I would like to see if that wants to hold. Equal highs here now, interesting. If we would have ran that high, we could blow through this fair value gap. We didn't run the high. Still think we have a chance to run it. May give a deeper retracement though now. So really, I'm looking at this new day opening gap. Not so confident in this fair value gap at the moment. I'd pay more attention to really new day opening gap and then the actual 1 minute fair value gap. If we give a deeper retracement, still can hold from here. Go like that. Notice what the candle bodies are holding. So we wicked into the sell side. Look at how that 15 is actually holding this. No, yeah, we're still expecting that consolidation. Right, I haven't said it because that's kind of been our base thought for the past few days, almost the past few weeks. Yeah, once again, we'll expect just another choppy day. We can obviously take advantage as we have been, but not expecting large expansions, just expecting us to remain within this range here. Which is why I like the idea, if we can, I guess, engineer buy side and sell side. Because we have NFP this week, remember. So we could obviously interact with either one of these. Like I say, we left these, return for sell side, that can be a target for NFP. All the way around, if we blast up and through this, leave equal lows, those lows can now be a target. So far, that was let play. Move this. Obviously, we have that fair value gap there, so a lot of levels within that. Notice too. Midnight, new week opening gap, new week opening gap. Let's see, 2-minute cents, fair value gap here. What about a 5? 5-minute cents. Well, we should continue. Yeah, I still favor higher. Need to now pass through this bearish fair value gap. So if we want higher prices, we want to see premiums be traded through. To and through into target. Damn, I'm tired this morning. For what? For what? holding the premium. Okay. So we could go lower through. Still holding that new day opening gap up. We'll see if we just want to consolidate here for a bit. Still like this area. Kind of just looking at what we've done so far this morning. And aside from running this low, I mean, everything is obviously bullish, right? 3 drives lower into our higher time frame. Fair value gap, 4-hour. YouTube model. Breaker, order block, held. We then break higher up and through, creating a bullish fair value gap that holds us. Sending it up through an inversion level that then holds us bullishly. Order block paired with the 8:30 open expands. So really, there's no real inefficiencies down here, which is why I'm looking at this one. To where if we were to clear this, I think we start actually revisiting lows, 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 and potentially the equal lows. Because on this move up, really no inefficiencies, right? All back and forth. And with the 2-minute, right, everything is really pretty efficiently delivered in here, pretty balanced. Let's even say on a higher time frame sense, low, high, lowest low, even though they're equal, expanding through. Well, now this 5-minute breaker here is aligned with our fair value. So yeah, we'll see if we just want to hold this in the short term. Honestly, I like this delivery lower, right? When we kind of do this and hold highs, because now let's say that we still have the ultimate objective of returning into this high here, right? Higher time frame fair value gap, 15 hourly, 5 minutes there as well. We would want to create an engineer buy side on the way lower. So keep holding these highs, right? Maybe even one more, holding inside the new day opening gap as we return lower into the discounts. Because then that would give us opposing liquidity to target if price were to bounce and start returning higher now. So we're going to move inside the 1 minute. This is the 5-minute OB. Kind of want to clear some stuff. Because there's other levels, let me just clear that. Go back to the 1 minute. And we'll keep just the 1 minute up. Sadly, it didn't hit the limit. What limit? Ooh, you had a limit that didn't get hit? Wow, didn't even get back into that. Okay. On a 2-minute sense, though, we did get into the 2-minute fair value gap. So I'm kind of watching to see if that 2-minute wants to hold us. Because the fact that we get back above new day opening gap here, pretty interesting. Especially, let's see if we accelerate into this fair value gap again. Right, 2-minute fair value gap here. So we've been inside that already. If we close above it here, I'm pretty interested to see if that'll continue to support us, especially because it's aligned with that new day opening gap. 30-second actually hit again as well. Interesting. So there's a tap that nuke opening gap perfectly. I'd like to see that. We'll see if we want to explore a little bit lower. Really just interested in consequent encroachment. So what I'll do is kind of like we talked about. We did create another high here. We did take out these equal highs, but we create new equal highs. So still another swing point. 30-second chart. Bearish fair value gap here would need to be overtaken. That'd be a good sign. We'll see if we keep this pushing through. Closing underneath consequent encroachment, especially underneath the midnight, unfavorable for the idea of continuing higher. Tap through and break. Potentially. Highs, you're saying? Oh, below, you're saying? Yeah, we'll see. We're in that 30-second fair value gap, probably. Oh, not yet. Oh, yeah, just barely. Still inside the 5-minute as well. So I want to keep that one up. The 5 minute fair value gap. Okay, the low of it is this consequent encroachment on the 1 minute. So honestly, I would not. Like, right, let me show you. So this is the most recent 5 minute here. A little bit of a higher time frame. So I'll just drag that out. We're holding and respecting that 5 minute consequent encroachment. We'll see what this next 1 minute candle does. That's why we're wicking here like this. Which if we were to hold that and close above it, I actually wouldn't want to see much lower than. Yeah, I wouldn't really want to see that consequent encroachment, to be honest. In my mind, the 5 minute should supersede the lower time frame 1 minute. And if we can get above it, we should be able to continue to expand. So yeah, we like that. Holding the 1 minute, holding the 5 minute. So that where this 5 minute consequent encroachment is the 1 minute start. At the high, basically, same level. So now closing above that on a 30-second, we've also should close above this. Okay. I like that. I mean, look where we held right off that new week opening gap, so kind of like we would expect. See if we close above new day opening gap now, can attack the high. Attack the high. Bearish volume imbalance negated bullishly fully would be nice, especially through back up and through that new day opening gap. At this point, don't really want to see anything lower than this low here. Nice, nice. Yeah, easy 5 handles there for sure. Back into this here, consequent encroachment. Closed above new day opening gap though. Did we leave a fair value gap? Yes. On a 30-second. Would like to see if that area hold. Continue to push. Leave this open. I guess let's see. That's the 5 minute closed. Okay, 5 minutes closed. So with the 5 minute closing now back above, really wouldn't want to see that low that was formed inside that new opening gap you violated. There's no inefficiencies here on the 5 minute, so it should have a pretty easy chance of running through. Of course, we're hitting the lower time frame inefficiencies. Okay, that 1 minute. But in a case like this, I would want to see this be more of just a speed bump, right? We hesitate, we then push through, however. Nice. Just what you'd want to see. Beautiful. Went back for the equal highs. Oh, look at that rejection, actually. Wow. That's pretty interesting. That was pretty violent. So it kind of erased everything, right? Because it's all about the candle close. So I don't really care that the fact that we went up here because we still weren't able to close above it. At this point, seeing that rejection, this comes back into play. This fair value gap here. Still want to See the E or the equal highs? Because now we have equal highs, relative equal highs. So still would want to see us get up and in there. But seeing something like this, we may just give a slight short-term consolidation in here before getting up and through it. So we could hit a deeper discount if need be, right? Like the 5-minute again once more. So I would allow for that. Let's move this one. Whoa, Jesus. What did I just do? Yeah, NQ's way above that high, so I mean, we can catch up to it. That'd be nice. Dollar's just wiki, but dollar lower could possibly help as well. Yeah, we never got into that fair value gap still. Back into it, back into the 5. So ideally, you wouldn't want to see that, right? The bearish volume imbalance immediately following it. I want to see if it's a touch and go or if we overtake this here. We're just going back into that 5-minute. So we've hit the 5-minute one more time. We have highs here. Let's see. Yeah, so we actually leave that open. So, right, not ideal seeing the volume imbalance breaking underneath consequent encroachment here. We would want to see this really stay or get overtaken. And notice where we reject again. Right, so the importance of waiting for the closures. Because we wick it a few times, but we don't actually ever close above that consequent encroachment. This is SMT here. So SMT at these highs while holding the premium. Stepping lower, under. As we mentioned, 5-minute fair value gap here. Still would kind of want to see this hold. So let's see what this candle does. 2 minutes until the next 5-minute candle closes. So we'll wait for the next 2-minute, 1-minute candles. Or the next, 2 1-minute candles. Notice how we've closed below this low though. So that already in itself indication that we're going to continue lower underneath this 5-minute. .30 second New day opening gap. So 1 more minute. Could still hold consequent encroachment with the 5. So gotta wait for that 5 minute here to close. So we could just be wicking this low. See if we overtake this here. Held the 5 minute low perfectly. Whenever this 1 minute candle closes, that'll be a sign. Now we do have this new day opening gap to contend with. But the way that we're moving, right, still favor, even though it's ugly. Oh, wow. We actually hold the new day opening gap still. Okay. So at this point, okay, now that we've actually hit the low of the 5 minute, would definitely not want to see anything underneath the 5 minute if we are to return back into that. Like if we're supposed to, right, continue through highs, this low should not be violated. $5 minute cents. 1 minute. Blast it through that. See if we can blast through this one here. Creating 2 inversions. Cool, aligned with. Okay. So now another inversion. Still hitting that original 1 minute that's kept offering us resistance here. So now at this point, if we get up and through that, that should be pretty significant. Should be able to expand at least into this short-term high here. Obviously, we still want that buy side. Did we get back into, got back into the 1 minute. Okay. Inversion as well. So still holding that consequent encroachment. Same fair value gap. See, we continue to be held there. Still wouldn't want to see anything lower than that 5 minute though. Oh, that's a 15. Yeah, that wick as well. New day opening gap. So still high prices. I'm still expecting price to go higher. High resistance, it may seem. Let's see. NQ cleared the high. Breaks lower. Notice we're kind of creating the same little structure where we're having highs built here as we're heading lower, like this. So we should be able to run up and through those highs and target. All right, buy side. Let's see. So another choppy morning. Not surprised. Playing around that. Oh, playing around that new day opening gap. Hold the 5. Held the. We had like an inversion volume imbalance here. Let's see. Consequent encroachment. Consequent encroachment of the 1 minute hasn't been hit yet. So we may actually want to give one more stab into that area to visit the consequent encroachment of the 1 minute. If we did do something like that, I'd want to see it be a wick and the body hold the volume imbalance. If we closed underneath both of them, just once again, right back to that consolidation, we'll probably just spend some time in here. We have new week opening gaps, new day opening gaps. And Q still kind of just consolidating as well. back into it again. The brick wall. Right, we're smashing into that multiple times, over and over. Still want to see us up and through that level, however. Facts. This fair value gap is absolutely saying nah. Ain't nobody getting through. Which is why if something can get through, we should be able to just let the floodgates open, get into highs. But we struggling. Another one. All right, the volume imbalance. Let's see what this does here. Can this be the one? Can this be the discount? Oh, absolutely. Oof, overtaken. The fair value gap of champs right now. But so when we see something like this, if we were to get above a premium like this, this is kind of when you know these are now the premiums that become discounts that we should pay attention for with higher probabilities. Like if price is showing an unwillingness to get above it and we can finally clear it, we would expect that to offer us support now to continue. But instead, notice that that's kind of a minus. So that's the full negated volume imbalance. We're still holding the actual 1 minute fair value gap here, so that can kind of reign supreme. We'll see if that wants to hold. Give it this one candle chance to get back above. Consequent encroachment still untouched. We can give that another touch. We can stab into these equal lows, wick that, and still hold. So for me, we just gotta wait here. Just a lot of waiting now. We'll see if we can't get up and through. But once again, look at that. Yeah, that thing is not budging. Notice the one time we did close, this is even on a 30-second. Oh, it doesn't even count though, because that's the 1 minute either way. See if there's microstructure in here on the 30-second chart. First touch of that fair value gap and a volume imbalance here as well. That's kind of the important volume imbalance, right? The sensitive one we speak of, where no return up into the candle's closure, aligned with a 30-second fair value gap. Consequent encroachment again. Defensive player of the year. Someone sign him. Absolute brick wall. All right, another chance, okay? So we tried once with the volume imbalance. Nah, negated. We got back up into it. Let's try again. UXY, yeah, I don't really look at dollar much anymore, but right, it's cleared a previous day high. It's been going up while NQ and ES have been going up, which means if it can start selling off, we should be able to pump here in the indices. We'll see though. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh no, okay, shoot, hold up. Tapped in too quick. Tapped in too quick. So 1. Oof. Played myself. Brutal. Okay, and now we go. So at this point, we have to move our stop. I've already TP'd on one of the accounts. I had 2 entries on 2 separate. Here, I'll just share this. So you can see what we're talking about here. So we obviously have buy side we're looking at. So we've partialed here at this basically 5 handles. Oh my, that was less. Less than 5. Got hit with the wick. But we've partialed out. I want the buy side, of course. So we're going to close majority at the buy side there. If we want to go into the 15-minute, we'll leave a straggler on. Yeah, so above that, obviously, I mean, honestly, above that, we have no need to even go back underneath that. Left it with the fair value gap. That's what we want to see. Boom. So we're out. We're up and under. Now, you know what? Let's do, nah, it's okay. I was like, let's do another one. Let's go here. Never touch the inversion. Stop it being profit. Especially if that 2-minute holds. Okay, we'll try this here. If we don't get taken out, stop is in profit, partial secured. We're going to try to get one more, potentially. On the inversion, we've never touched it. Stop will be underneath the swing. Now we'll go into the opening gap. Go like this. But we might run into that consequent encroachment. Actually, I might aim for the 5-minute. Because there was a 5-minute inside. That is, no, okay. The 5-minute basically is 15-minute consequent encroachment. So I'll just leave that level there. First entry here came on this inversion. Or this original overtake. So I was looking at this. When we closed above it, I was just entering on the low of it in case we didn't want to get lower. But I still had my original entry inside the actual right here, right? So right on that level. So this is where I was building my position. I understood that even if we had a retracement, that would be a more favorable entry. So I'm waiting till we get there to add more positions. Go in light here first, add most of the position at the actual, right? Kind of the best risk to reward. But now, because we've hit that buy side, we'll be in profit regardless. Yeah, we'll go something like this. So higher risk, but because we've already partialed out, I'm fine kind of going for it again. Especially because our stop will be in profit. So even if this trade loses, right, we'll still be in profit overall. Yeah, 2 minutes clean. That's why I love a 2-minute, baby. Secret weapon. So yeah, we're still in this. We'll see how that goes. Did we hold the volume imbalance? We didn't hold the volume imbalance. Man, we didn't get in our entry either, though. On the other account, so the accounts I just got yesterday, the master I have on Tradeovate, this was the entry here. So with these ones, right, just keep it simple. But we went one contract, same exact entry. Actually perfect. I mean, look at that entry. Low ticking it, right? Catching the literal low of that candle. And then we get out. For me, I got out at 6 handles. So we could have held to that buy side, but with these accounts, right, just no need. Keep it simple. Didn't get into our inversion here. We probably hit the 2-minute though. Oh, I didn't hit the 2-minute either. That's fine. If we close above this high, I'll actually move my stop and take away this order. We'll see though. Never closed above it. New day opening gap. Yeah, offered nice support there. Oh yeah. Who watched the GTA 6 trailer though? We got gamers. 10 fucking years later, baby. Oh my god, he said not me. Don't say nothing then. Disrespectful. No, I'm just kidding. That's fair. No, it was just tiny anyways. It was only like a minute. It didn't really show much. Just more for the hype. Waited 10 years. When would we anticipate formation of intermediate term low? I mean, if I'm bullish, I would expect intermediate term lows to form inside of discounts. That should support us. I guess that's how I'd look at it. Like this is probably an intermediate. Let's go to a 30-second. If we get to a small enough time frame. Okay, not in theory. These are equal lows, but like this is an intermediate term low here, right? With swing lows to the left and right of it. And it occurs as we return into a discount in a market that we already expect to continue bullish. Oh, look at that. Hold up. Okay. So we don't get our, at this point, right, we'll cancel that. At this point, we'll also go here. Well, you know what we'll do? Let's be greedy. We're gonna be greedy. We're gonna be some greedy bastards. Let's try to aim for. Let's aim for. Do we got standard deviations here? Hold up. I'm gonna move this for now. want to see where our standard deviations are for the day. So from the open, half a standard deviation. Let's do that. That's an extremely far target, but we've closed above the 9:30 to 10:30 opening range. Right, so the lowest low and highest high between that time, we take that. If we close above that, high likelihood that we continue in that given direction. So for us, we'll just try to honestly capitalize. We might not even capture all of this here, which I know, or I mean, we probably won't stay on for the entirety of this trade, but we'll leave it up there. Today we have intermediate term low that has taken stops. 10:30 low. 10:30. Yeah, that's an intermediate term low. I guess what are you? You're just saying that's what that is, or is it a question? Sorry. Would I consider the volume imbalances above the fair value gap in the 5-minute chart as possible? Yes, they could be draws on liquidity, right? If we want to continue higher, anything above those, any premiums could draw price into that. And I didn't enter earlier because, so let's see, 10:21. What time are you thinking? 10:21. 10:21. Here, that's fair. For me, I'm not entering because of this. If I'm being honest, it's this rejection, right? So I like this fair value gap here that I had pointed out. This rejection paired with the SMT kind of made me very hesitant because price was showing that it wants to hold this fair value gap instead. And especially if with how aggressive we went up and through it the first time, when we snap back underneath it like that, there's a high likelihood that at least in the short term, we're not going to want to continue higher. So for me, I was really just waiting on a full confirmation, and that came with a run on these stops here. Because as I was looking at this 1-minute fair value gap like this, right, I'm looking at this 1-minute fair value gap. And although we hit the new week opening gap here, I noticed that the 1-minute consequent encroachment was never hit, right, at this level. So as soon as we get this rejection wick, my mind goes to the fact that we may actually want to revisit one more time the actual consequent encroachment of this lower time frame fair value gap, which is the low of the 5-minute. So now I'm waiting, right? I'm waiting to see what happens. We break structure here at this low. When we close below it, to me, that was a little unfavorable. Thought we may continue lower. But now as we overtake this bearish fair value gap, that's like the flip point for me. And that's when I mentioned, okay, we've hit the low of this 5-minute. We close back above it. There's absolutely no need to return below this low if we are bullish. So at that point, I have confirmation to go long because we could still return below this low. I don't have the same conviction that this low will hold like this one if we're bullish. And especially with the discounts that were created now, right? Fair value gap, inversion, new day opening gap. So we're stacking discounts here while breaking through premiums, and we have higher time frame objectives. So yeah. Right, for me, I just didn't trust these lows after seeing that candle here. But the fact that we then held the 5-minute and returned into that fair value gap, that tells me price does actually want to return into that. 10:58, because I don't really want to hold this trade and monitor it all day, I'll just close it here. So we hit that consequent encroachment once, but I have it right at the high, so if we can get out, we'll just get out. When would you? I would anticipate an intermediate term low in a fair value gap if I'm bullish. You didn't want to see the 10:15 low broken. Yeah, okay, so I kind of actually just explained all of that there. Yeah, I expect intermediate terms low to form inside of fair value gaps if I have higher targets, and price should remain bullish. Whereas like in here too, it's tough, right? Because boom, so there's that exit. Beautiful. Cool. What was I saying? Oh yeah, okay. So we can kind of start breaking stuff down. Let's clear this, clear this. This is important. But notice that when we are going lower here, okay, and we create this low and we break higher, the only discount that's in here is this fair value gap. Okay, that's not the right thing. It's this fair value gap that's here. So now for me, right, this paired with the 5 minute, I guess you could say as well. So we have two fair value gaps. That's not many discounts to kind of overlap if price is going to continue bullish. Like if we were going to just continue to run, I would have wanted to see this candle just wick through the high and deliver into the buy side. When we reject this, however, I'm less trusting of this just because there's not many other discounts in here, right? Like we didn't create any inversions or anything. There's no really volume imbalances in here that we got up and through that we could use. And the delivery lower was pretty lethargic as well. Whereas on this run lower, right, we immediately reject. So now we've created a discount inversion. We've created an inversion volume imbalance. We've created a 1 minute discount fair value gap. We still have the actual 5 minute fair value gap. And now we've created another 1 minute inversion here. So you see how the difference between these discounts all in here versus this one set up here, which is why I wasn't confident entering on this. If we would have held here and ran, that's just an instance where we can see that coming and I miss a trade. Right, that's fine. That happens plenty of times. I don't mind it. Where we watch something kind of play out as we expect and it delivers. Okay, cool. But for me to feel confident entering, I just needed to see a little bit more. And that came here on this leg. My higher time frame was bias. Oh, wait. That's not English. My higher time frame bullish. Bias was bullish. Jesus, what the hell? Because really it was this opening here at 10 o'clock. As I mentioned, everything besides the equal lows pointed towards higher prices. And we've spoke a few times now over these past few weeks how just because we have equal highs or lows, that's not a guarantee price needs to return into those. A lot of ICT traders will get trapped into that thinking, right? Equal lows here need to be targeted. They have to be targeted. Whereas if we have that mindset, that's more of just retail thinking, right? Seeing a pattern and expecting it to play out because we expect it to play out. Whereas if we really kind of study order flow, and that's what I was doing in here earlier on, right? I'm seeing that, okay, even though we have equal lows, what have we done? We've cleared these internal range equal lows. We've created 3 drives lower. We've hit both a 4-hour higher time frame, right, and another 4-hour higher time frame discount. We have formed the YouTube model, short-term low cleared, break and structure. We held the breaker. We held the order block. We now hold all the discounts as we continue higher, right? Discount here holds. We break up and through new week opening gaps. We have now inversion fair value gaps like this that hold us. So all of this in here is showing a willingness to continue higher, right? Discounts are holding, premiums are getting broken. So now at 10 o'clock, when we absolutely one-sided deliver into and up and through the new day opening gap, I just expect continuation into our buy side target here, especially seeing that we left that equal high. If we would have cleared this equal high, to be honest, I probably would have not. I mean, I guess we can't say for sure, but I wouldn't have had the conviction that we were going to go up here again. Like if we had ran this equal high, hit this fair value gap, and started to retrace, there's a higher likelihood that we actually continue bearish. But because we actually created these equal highs first, I still expect those to be hit. I'm not expecting the equal lows to be hit anymore because price has shown that it doesn't want to go any lower. Discounts are holding us. We're breaking above key levels, midnight level, new week opening gap level, another set of new week opening gap levels, right? The 8:30 open level. So at that point, we flip bullish. And now I just trust that and we continue in that direction. We'll probably continue, as I mentioned. That standard deviation was a target for me, but I just don't want to hold trades that long. I don't care to manage it. It was just one contract too, and we had already taken another winner, so we're fine with that. If the 1005 fair value gap would have been broken through the first time, would I have trusted it? If the 1005 fair value gap would have been broken through the first time. So you're saying if this fair value gap here would have been broken through with this candle, yes, I would have trusted that that should hold as an inversion, if that's kind of your question. Right? If this candle was to have closed above this fair value gap, I would have expected this low to now hold and not be broken, and for price to either use this inversion or the new day opening gap to deliver into the buy side target. But however, once we reject that wick, reject that closing underneath, that kind of changes everything, right? So you have to be quick in the thinking. But I've seen it play out a few times now, so I was able to flip it quick. If the news fair value gap was broken, I would have then became bearish. Yep. So right, if we had gotten underneath this, that's when we said low. Oh, what the heck? Oh no, hold on. Okay. Yeah, if we had gotten underneath this fair value gap here, then lows would have been the target. Lows here, lows here, lows here. Because we, as we mentioned, on the way up in here, there's no type of inefficiency. Right? No real discount or premium. As we go higher, we create some discounts, we retrace, fill those in. Right? All wick up and down. We then go higher, back down again, up one more time, all back and forth in here. Up all the way back down again, back and forth before 10 o'clock, and then boom, one-sided. So this becomes really the flip point, right? The 1 minute fair value gap. As long as we're above it, we can continue to look for higher prices. Anything underneath that, our bias becomes bearish. Now, just continuing to push up and through, as we mentioned, we would expect price to continue to run higher if we're going to close above the range formed from 9:30 to 10:30. That's this range here. Let's see, the lowest low in between that time. So that's these equal lows up to this high here. And we break through that high. So we would expect expansion up and through it. But yeah, not bad. And as we mentioned one more time, we'll go over the static accounts here. Right, same exact entries. Exit is just slightly different. So on this one, still understanding, okay, we've cleared short-term low. We break above. I'm using the actual inversion volume imbalance here. I like that area better. You guys know I just like volume imbalances. So if there's a volume imbalance inside of an already predetermined discount, I'll use that. Right, so it's really using this fair value gap here, but I like the volume imbalance. Because say I wanted to use consequent encroachment, which I actually did. I lied on this entry. I totally forgot I did. Yeah, because we hit that. I mean, that's crazy. So that was just a crazy entry. Because I did use consequent encroachment here. I lied. I wasn't even using the volume imbalance. That was on the previous ones. We just got tapped in with spread, to be honest. Go with that one. Hit that, and then 7 handles. 6 handles? I think it was 7. Buy side would have been nice, but oh well. If there's no manipulation. Yeah, if the news release doesn't take out liquidity, there's a high chance that we're going to have to run liquidity at some point. Anton, nice for your question. Like here, because we went one-sided, that's why we first have to engineer opposing liquidity, and only after running that do we then deliver into our objective. But yeah, good observation there. Yeah, I think that'll be it. Unless there's any questions, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Another nice day. Class dismissed. Basically, yeah. At this point, we're just chilling, so you guys could dip. Just waiting to see if there's any questions. Later, brother. See you, Anton. Take care. I thought we were going to be bearish because of the daily. Let's see why that is. I mean, honestly, nothing in here really. Go like this. It's hard to say bearish or bullish, right? We're consolidating a lot. If we could have closed underneath this day's low, we may have looked for lows, but we're still just holding that range. So for me, I can't really use anything here on this daily besides like higher time frame targets. But everything that we're doing is purely off of really the 1 hour and the 15-minute. That's all we've been looking at. We have the higher time frame discounts here, but look at that. Enter the low, exit the high, imagine. Okay, let's see. I was looking to short in the 1029 volume imbalance. I was looking to short 1029. Wait, what? You were looking to short this volume imbalance, you mean at 1029? Okay, I think that's what you're saying. So for me, well, this is kind of where it can be tough, but that really comes down more to a bias understanding. To where we did reject this fair value gap. We have broken structure here at these lows, but we never clear, right, the 1 minute fair value gap or the 5 minute. So for me to actually start looking for shorts, we would have had to close underneath one of those two levels, seeing as how they're the same level. Now what I mean by that is, let me pull up the 5 minute again. So this is the 5 minute that we were using, right, that ultimately holds us. And then within that, we have this 1 minute. So the low of the 5 minute and the consequent encroachment of the 1 minute, basically the same level. For me to actually look for price to want to continue lower and try to short any of this in here, we would have had to close and confirm that we wanted to head lower by closing underneath either the 5 minute fair value gap or the actual consequent encroachment of this 1 minute. Because kind of as we spoke about, right, my higher time frame bias is still these equal highs here. And we formed this, so now relative equal highs. As long as discounts are still valid and being held, we would expect that to continue. And price shows that it's really holding this, right? Notice how we don't even really get near that. We hold the 5 minute with the body, but no body gets near the 1 minute consequent encroachment. So as soon as I see that, I immediately look at these and I want to see these be overtaken. I'm not expecting these to hold us. I want to see price negate these. And that's what we get in one swift motion. So if we can especially do it in one swift motion like that, that's a clear sign that we are now flipping back to that bullish order flow. And that's why we're okay entering here inside of that 1 minute. So it really comes down to that bias. Like if you're looking for longs or if you're expecting higher prices, you wouldn't even try to short. But let's say that you were trying to short. One way you can avoid that then is to wait for actual confirmation below fair value gaps, right? Higher time frame. Like let me go to that 5 minute. Like if you would have waited for the 5 minute to close and it could have closed underneath this, then you have a higher probability that the actual premiums that were formed along the way will hold us. It's tough though. A lot of moving parts. I've made the same mistake plenty of times. And that's the only reason why I could kind of avoid it now. But eventually you make the same mistakes enough times, you learn from it. It's all a learning process. Also, why it's important to kind of have a mix of time frames on the chart as well. Because right, you can really zone in on those key areas. So like with these areas overlap, that's a very key area in price. And that's why we see such respect here with the candle bodies and the wicks. And then even at the low, that's why we hold it with such precision. When did I become absolutely confident in your execution in my analysis? I mean, it wasn't until, I don't know. It's tough to answer because I always want to improve, right? Obviously, I'm at a point where I'm the best I've ever been. I don't think I can go much farther in my analysis abilities. I could always improve in a way. But now it just comes down to executions. As I spoke about yesterday, executions are kind of the last step, the last skill set to fully be developed and mastered. And for me, since I'm already really fully confident in the bias, it's just a matter of executing on it consistently, which right we strive to do each day. In your consistency, when was I confident in my? Wait. Oh, like how long did it take until I got profitable? You're saying? I said about 3 years. I've said on that one. Yeah, about 3 years. Honestly, it took me about 2 years to get to break even. And then I spent another about 12 to 18 months before I was able to crack that. It's been a little longer. Or it wasn't until about 2020, early 2022, I'll say, that it got another level. As soon as he released, right, as soon as that 2022 mentorship came out, Anton, at that point, it was GG's to everybody. I hit another level in my trading then. Because I was already profitable beforehand, but it was like 2% a month, right? 1.5%, 2%, 3% a month, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, right? You can make a living doing that. But once the 22 mentorship came out, then it was pretty shocking, right? The consistency I found after that. How should I treat fair value gap that was created that did not take liquidity, like this bullish fair value gap? How should I treat? So you mean, how do I treat? Hey, take care, Rude Dog. Yeah, have a good day. We just BSing now, so enjoy it. We'll be back tomorrow, 9:25 Eastern. But Sormo, if you mean, I'm trying to, let's see. Fair value gap that was created that did not take liquidity. I'm guessing you mean this bullish fair value gap here. Which obviously, right, we're getting underneath that, but you get the point. The one that we reacted from. This one. This bearish fair value gap. I'm lost, sorry. This one. Give me the time, give me the time. I know I'm like, what the hell? What time frame candle did, or what time did the fair value gap form? That'll help. It's damn hard to spot mistakes. It is. It's very hard. That's why I say, right, you make the same mistake over and over and over and over until you don't make it anymore. At least for me, anyways. And the one thing that helped was journaling, right? Cliche, blah, 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 journaling. But being able to go back and see the mistakes I made over and over again, eventually, if you keep writing down the same mistake, right, you're going to stop making it. You're going to subconsciously learn from it. You're going to quit executing on it. We blasted through the 1 minute wall. Facts. Okay, 10 a.m. Let's go back to 10 a.m. here. Okay. So in this instance, so you're saying because we never cleared liquidity before this fair value gap was created, what did we do? I can understand your question now. And what you do is you wait for confirmation. Right? Pretty simple answer. And what I mean by that is, like me, I'm not confident, even though I expect higher prices. Because this is a large fair value gap here. And like you're saying, we didn't clear liquidity, so it's not like a YouTube model or anything. I'm not confident just entering this price taps into that, right? Even though we have levels inside, I need to see some type of confirmation. That comes here. So all I'm waiting for is confirmation inside of the established discount. That price will want to continue in our given direction. And that comes when we hit the consequent encroachment, moving away quickly, engineering inversion levels that we then use to deliver us higher. And notice, right, we get into that 15-minute, boom, melt. So suckers that didn't take any profits, right, like me. See, that's why I'm thankful for myself. Subconsciously, I knew. If I was still holding that position, runs against you without any opportunity to enter. Yeah, it's still valid, Stormer. Right, fair value guys don't need to take liquidity. That's another kind of thing of like retail thinking in a way. That's why it's important too to understand which fair value gaps are more important than other fair value gaps. But as long as we're in established order flow, right, we'll trust them. Back into that midnight though. Look at the difference though between, right, the delivery into it versus coming back down through it. Methodical, a lot of give and take, right, a lot of retracements, slow, slow, slow. So if anyone was holding in here, right, they're feeling that slowness. And then now, in one swift motion, clear all the sell side that was created back into the original fair value gap created with the news event and the midnight level. Beautiful. Price is beautiful, to be honest. That's why I love this way of trading. But once you get familiar with these concepts, the precision is ridiculous. Second to none, honestly. Right, no cherry pick or hindsight nonsense. I mean, how many times have we seen, right, lows being caught, highs being caught? At this point, it's not a random occurrence. You got a break even stage a couple months ago and could not overcome. Hey, but here's what you have to think, man. Break even in itself is an improvement. Right? Don't get lost in the idea of, oh, I have to make money, I have to make money. Compare yourself to where you were even 6 months ago, right? 6 to 8 months ago. Losing money or not losing money is just as much a win as making money, in my opinion, anyways. Right? It's all a progression. You were horrible, exactly, right? It's only a competition with yourself, my dog. Right? You're not competing with anybody else. No one else can push the buttons for you. I could help. I could show you. I could show what is possible if you stay at it. But at the end of the day, you versus you always. But all right, everybody. I think that'll wrap it up for today. Man, these streams have been going longer. That's all right. That's cool. Let me make sure our news is aligned for tomorrow. Okay. So normal day tomorrow, yeah. We'll be back at 9:25 Eastern. And we'll see what the day has for us. If you're sitting around here the rest of the day, the fact that we've cleared this now, we're inside the range. If we can get underneath, as I'm still saying, if we get underneath this fair value gap here that we created, I like the idea of going for lows, lows, and then potentially the equal lows here. So keep an eye on that. Right? Anything under that, I'd look for shorts. If we hold that and continue, then still longs, in my opinion. But in the meantime, hope you guys have a good day. Have a good afternoon. and we will talk tomorrow morning at 9:25. Until then, take care, and see you guys.